Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to yet another episode of God damn it, I can't say anything.
With extra happy.
Yeah,
My
with
brain
it.
tried to say we happy few, and I was thinking, no, that's a game.
Yeah,
It's with extra happy.
yeah, I'd say, like, when I was recording my last Jash read, somehow I couldn't read off a page.
Oh, we
So
started this episode off brilliantly.
let's start this again. Hello, I'm
3, 2, 1.
Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of With Extra Happy. And with me today, as always, is my co-host, Kat.
Hi!
Yeah, and today is going to be the last episode for a little bit. Just so we can take a break, catch a breather, actually be happy for once.
I can get to writing that Victorian Animorph thing while I'm on holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, this actually sort of lined up well for this patch of episodes because it ended just as she's going to be unavailable, so.
Yay!
Yay! So, so this episode before our break is going to be about a very, very happy topic. It's going to be about David, who did nothing wrong at all, and everything was fine.
Nah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, that David.
Oh, that David.
He's a fucking cunt.
Yeah. I'm not giving him a
that's that's the polite term for David. The correct term for David is probably in some alien language with that can't be translated. Not because it can't be translated, but because it's so horrible that people just can't write it down.
I can probably say it, though.
Of course you could, Kat.
Yep. Fake requester Hammerhack, that's what I'm gonna call him.
Call him what?
Fake requester Hammerhack.
Okay. So,
No, I'm not going to translate.
I don't want you to all of a sudden.
It's the tamest thing in my vocabulary, but just for effect, I'm not going to translate it.
Good. Just don't. So, for those of you who don't know who David is and are for some reason watching this episode, probably after it's recorded because we have no viewers right now, is David discovered the scaffold device, aka the blue box. And so the Animorphs got the box from him, but not before both of his parents were made into controllers, and the Yeerks knew exactly who he was. So between a decision of letting him become a controller, smashing his fucking face in, and making him an Animorph, they chose to make him an Animorph. And then he tried killing all of them. And then they created this whole plan based around his ego, and they managed to trap him in to Radmorph and put him on this like little just rock of an island.
And a lot of other rats.
Yeah, and then there's a whole thing with Krayak later, but we're only covering the David trilogy, which leaves him lonely on a rock with only other rats as companions.
Help me!
No, it's no! It was so fucking refreshing hearing him scream no when he realized what happened. He's like, it's not fair. And Drake's like, you were a fucking cunt that we're going to sell us a Visher 3, you asshole.
This is as fair as we're getting, mate.
You fucker. So yeah, so we may have another David episode, and we may go into what happens afterwards with Krayak. we might not. There's a bunch of theories we won't be getting to today. And if you have any David theories, please comment down below. I think I just love to hate this little fucker. He's an asshole. But he's like an asshole.
Suddenly I'm wondering, would he have been better or worse as a controller? I want that book.
Well, if he was made a controller, he would have the morphine powers, and
oh fuck, never mind.
Yeah, and then he would just like they would carry on like, okay, he has. That's like, I just don't understand why I didn't fucking leave the fucker, because they're going to try to win the war, and if they win the war, he's free. So, and less problem to deal with. It's like, oh, it's a pity thing. No, you're trying to win the fucking war, so maybe if you win it soon enough, he'll be, alive.
It'll be worth it.
If I could have fucking avoided it. I don't know. Whenever I reread the David trilogy, I just think of all the possible times they could have just killed him off easily. Like, he starts to morph the Golden Eagle for the first time. Mid-morph, helpless, first time it's going on. Like, X could give one, like, swing of that tail blade. Problem solved.
Yep, and then it's just a mess to clear up.
Yeah, if you have any David theories, please comment down below, because I'd like to make another David episode, and yeah.
Just in the future.
Yeah. So the first question is, do you think there was any scenario where the Animorphs could have avoided an incident and kept David as a loyal member of the team?
Am I going first?
Yeah, I always go last. I don't.
Okay. Well, the answer that I wrote is not likely, given he seemed to be psychopathic, I believe, in the first place, and given him the morphing power only gave him the freedom he needed to explore, like, what limits he could push.
Yeah, I also agree. His whole mental state wouldn't fucking matter how the Animorphs treated him. I sort of compare him to my dad.
And that your dad doesn't have a cobra.
He's not really a pet person. Like, oh god, today he got annoyed that Lemon kept on being in a panic whenever he walked by, because he walks by too close, he doesn't go far enough all the time, and he doesn't, do a calming voice afterwards to, soothe her. And so I walk out of the room, and he's taking Lemon's cage to bring into this room, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Well, she's doing this. Look, she's just flopping around. Like, he couldn't comprehend scared.
Oh, for God's sake.
And so I had to go, hey, Dad, that she's scared, just walk around her, respect her, talk soothingly to her. And I had him push her back where she was. And it's just like, if he had a fucking cobra, he'd probably fucking be bitten so shortly. Yeah. Because he thinks he's owed respect by every damn thing on Earth, and anything that doesn't respect him as he wants is... Yeah, so Dad wouldn't fucking last with the fucking cobra. Hey, this cobra always keeps on attacking me. Well, if you didn't keep fucking pissing it off, I'm not doing anything. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about him with the cobra. I just wouldn't remove the poison sacs, and just let him go wild.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, the original point is that Dad has this whole thing of any little compliment he overblows as like worship, and any tiny criticism is someone abusing or demeaning him.
It's the end of the world.
It's
What did my
like,
voice do?
I don't know. I think you're possessed.
I'm sorry, carry on. Let me get unpossessed here while you talk.
And so David sort of has that with him. Any little compliment the Animorphs give him, he overblows it, which is, how he was able to be manipulated. And any little bad thing that's said, no matter how insignificant, is they're abusing me. And so someone dynamic like that wouldn't last, just because when you're a soldier, you need to take orders. It's not this whole thing where it's going to be nice and happy and you're going to be able to do whatever you want all the time.
No.
No, it's like, I think it's only human to try to see any way that they could have kept David on the team, but it wouldn't work.
No.
I was clicking the wrong thing there. So, yeah. Do you want to expand on your own answer?
No, not really. I don't really have anything extra to add.
Okay, no, I'm thinking of some.
Although I would like the books from like Cassie's point of view, because I know that she's like really good at reading people, and I kind of wonder whether like she would have been like hoping that they could have like positively.
No,
and I just want to see her thought process throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense and would be really interesting. I know to start off with, she didn't guess, how bad David was, and it's like, did she think David was a bad kid at all, or no? She had just gotten through the previous book in the series. She had quit the Animorphs for a short time and managed to turn a Yeerk to the light side of the Force. And
was that Aftran? I forget.
Aftran, yeah.
Yay, I remembered.
You remember something? Woo woo!
Yay!
Your memory isn't fully kaput. Yay!
I'm not seeing it yet.
Oh, God, but so maybe she knew that David was a bad apple, but that he could be turned, and like she did with the Yeerk.
Yeah.
That would be like, hey, if anyone wants to do a fanfic, I would do this, but I have so much shit going on, and I'm sort of sick right now. Doing a lot better than yesterday. But still, I don't really have the time. But if anyone wants to write a fic where, it's the David trilogy, but from Cassie's perspective, please do. It would be really, really fucking interesting.
If
And
I find time
I would say
around the holiday and the Victorian one, I will definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, that sounds fucking awesome. Good. I'm working on other fics. I'm sorry, guys. If only I could, write every fic I want to at the same time, so I could, and
We need more hands.
No, we need more time. We need more
time.
Time would really help. Okay, now here's a really interesting part of the episode.
We are just zooming through this today.
We only got through one question so far.
Yeah, I know, but
Not really. Whoa! What a... So fucking glad I don't have the Q&A to do later today. The person moved it back, so so I don't have to worry about, oh my god, we have to get it finished now. But anyways, the psychology of David, let's discuss.
this will be fun because I barely understand. I'm just going off what I understand.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes I like...
Okay. No, carry on.
Okay, let's... God damn it. I like... Okay, let's see where to start. Let's start doing this in chronological order, as things unfold, because I think that would probably be easiest. As you can see, folks, we totally plan every part of this podcast to perfection.
Seriously, we've done this for a while now. We know what the hell we're doing, honest.
Bullshit. But anyways...
Don't give the game away.
Let's see, chronological order. We're going to go through chronological order because I think that's really the easiest one, unless all of us had really detailed notes, and I don't really keep notes. But anyways...
I made notes, but it was just an overall summary. I didn't know I was supposed to do it for each book, so I'm just going to go off memory of the first two books since I listened to them in the past 2 days, so...
If I only had the fresh reads of Animorphs, 20 through 22, I could just said, you can read these! Give me views.
I had them to read, I just thought it would be easier for me to listen to them because then I can do other stuff and get a more solid image in my head. Anyway.
Okay, let's start off with when Marco first runs into David going, yo!
I don't know why I said yo. I'm not a yo kind of guy.
And like David right off the bat's like with Marco like, the fuck? Okay. Go, just go away. I was like, it's like, that's sort of understandable because when I first, it took me a few books in the series to actually like Marco. So some random guy coming and like not liking him off the bat, that's like, you don't think of that and go, yeah, that's a psycho killer.
If anyone just suddenly did that to me, I would kind of be like, why are you talking to me? What did I do? What?
Hello, stranger.
Help.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, basically.
I love the rolling chair.
So yeah, I think like when he like turns up to school with the blue box, he's probably like curious as to what it is, and like until Marco like comes up and like starts asking questions about it, he probably wasn't thinking about it that much.
I don't think it's really
And
until Marco, Rachel, and Tobias fuck up stealing the blue box that David becomes highly interested. They're trained birds.
Yeah. And then I think at that point, excuse me.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was a yawn, and I have a sneeze hiding in the background at the back of my nose somewhere. So if I suddenly go quiet, that's me sneezing, and I don't want to deafen you guys.
Okay. Please don't.
So yeah. I think like once he realized that the blue box was important somehow, he obviously thought, well, then I can probably get a lot of money for this. So that's like first hint of selfishness,
Yeah, well,
I would say.
I think, well,
Um,
it was logical to go, hey, I could make a fuckload of money off this if I found something that valuable. But the thing is, I don't think he even
yeah,
fucking tried to research it. He didn't try to find out what Groots might be coming to get him. He was just thinking, of course this will work out. Like, of course nothing bad will really happen to me. I'll have Marco here as backup. And that really, I think, sort of shows his ego there because he's like, of course this will work out. Of course I'll get money. I mean, if he tried to research it, tried to figure shit out, he might come to realize that, yeah, I need a fuckload. I don't know what this is. That there's nothing in recorded history about it. Maybe I should be careful.
hmm.
Maybe I shouldn't have them meet me at my own fucking home.
He's only what 13, but still, yeah, you should still be a lot more careful if you got something like this.
And plus, his dad is a fucking NSA agent. So he should have probably been brought up with some sense.
Yeah, especially about like security and all that gubbins.
Yeah,
I use a lot of interesting words, don't I? Gubbins.
Govins. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it must mean something.
I think it's just another way of saying stuff
Stuff.
or
Govins. Like,
stuff and gubbins and whatnot and hoopla and whatever. Ignore me, I'm just rambling now.
oh, it's fine. It's fine. That means the less I have to talk. So it's all good. But yeah, probably David should have been instilled with some sense of security, but then again, he was able to get, his a BB, like a handheld BB gun, and then he was getting a Cobra.
And a cat named Megadeth.
Yeah. which Marco used against, making David an Animorph. We can't have someone in the group with a cat named fucking Megadeth.
It's not the cat I'm worried about, it's the fucking cobra. How many people own cobras and let them live loose in their bedroom?
Well, at least, the poison sacks were gone.
Only because he was scared of getting bitten.
Mm.
Probably.
Yeah, like, I don't want to. Or maybe his parents are like, you can't fucking control a snake. It won't do your bidding every time you ask, so we're getting these removed. Maybe David just didn't have a sense of fear that he seems to be, when he's in a place of power, he thinks he's untouchable.
Yeah. I think that explains everything else.
Yeah, it fucking does. So, you notice how Cassie was like, he seems to miss his parents, but, not in a normal way.
Yeah, I would say that he probably maybe like sees his parents as more slaves or something.
Yeah. Can you explain that?
Um, like he knows that they care about him, so they will probably likely try to do everything to keep him happy, and he'll just be there for them in quotes, and until they're no longer useful to him,
That's what I
and then
was.
at that point, and then that I can talk, and then at
Bullshit.
that point, shut up. And then at that point, he turns to the Animorphs because they have become his new. I don't quite want to say servants, but they will like sort of like serve him in some way. even if he's like manipulating them and such.
Yeah, I
And even
think
if they
he
don't realize
liked.
it.
I think he liked his parents only because they gave him safety. You know, they made his life easy for him.
Yeah,
And
convenience then.
yeah, and then the Animorphs, he only stuck with the Animorphs because that was the best option. He knew that if he chose another road, that things would get a lot harder. So he's smart, but he's like, because he's like, okay, if I leave the Animorphs, bad things will happen. I don't have a backup plan. So I think the whole time he
I don't
was
have anywhere to
waiting.
go. I don't have anyone to look after me.
Yeah, and I think the whole time he was planning on betraying them when, the better option came. Because, when Tobias was talking about the Golden Eagle, he probably thought, oh, this is some really fucking powerful morph that I can use to kick their asses. Of course, there's also the fact that Jake was basically implying, no, don't. And I'm sometimes an asshole, and so it's like, no, Aaron, don't. It's like, okay, gotta do it then.
Well, I mean, if
But
if you
Aaron
don't want to
does.
fear me, then I will do the thing to make you fear me anyway, because I'm gonna be a golden eagle. Who the hell's gonna stop me?
Yeah, it's like there's a fucking powerful morph when a better option becomes available.
Yeah.
And he noticed it, and oh god, he's such a fucking wimp. I mean, I can understand this because getting thrown into life or death situations is not a calming experience, but any fucking little hint of danger makes him sort of react like a yerk and try to give up. Like when in Dragonfly Morph, it's like no, when Jake was in Dragonfly Morph and, the other Animorphs, including David, were in Flea Morph on him. David didn't wait for an order or anything. He just started demorphing.
That was in
Like, no matter
cockroach
what
morph.
happened. No,
Uh
no, it was in Flea. It was in Flea on the Dragonfly.
oh, okay, yeah, because I was thinking you were talking about the bit under the helicopter,
No, it
and
was.
he was morphing cockroach for the first time, and thinking, nope, 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 nope.
Nope, I'm fucking out of this shit.
Put this shit out, man.
And I'm here. I'm just existing.
Oh, she outed.
Good. It was, yeah, but yeah, he does have a tendency to run away, like at trouble. You notice how quickly he went from, I've got your friends trapped, Rachel. Now, it's just you and me, and if you want to see them alive again, you're going to do what I say. And just getting so fucking cocky. Then Rachel they managed to trap David, and once David realized it, like first is like bargaining, like, oh yeah, this is great, guys. I can totally understand this now. Can you let me go? And when the Animorphs were like, nope, he's like, you're not God. You sir tried to sell us out to
Please
Fisher
don't do
3.
this.
Yeah, it's like, you can't. He thought he had murdered Tobias, and Tobias comes swooping down like, haha, bitch.
That
And
was some
it's
poor
just,
innocent red tail minding his own business.
yeah, it was like, Golden Eagles are assholes. And
See,
so he
Cassie, I
thinks,
told you.
see, I told you, what the fuck do I always tell you people? And why don't you listen? Pigeons are fucking morons and eagles are assholes. Golden eagles are assholes. Yeah, that was some.
And crows and jays are just the worst. To say
Yeah,
the
it was.
worst.
Yeah, it's. So yeah, it's David goes from when he's in a place of power, his ego is being stroked and he thinks nothing can harm him. I mean, also I think he thought his morphine abilities made him godlike. And that of course he was better than the Animorphs, so of course he has nothing to fear from them. You notice when he had been Markomorph to, harass the other Animorphs at school, saying, "You got to give me the blue box," and then Rachel follows him afterwards, and Marco's first reply, not Marco's, David's first reply is like, "Hey, you can't morph here," and it's like morphing's not what makes them powerful. I mean, it helps them to a great degree, but it's without the thoughts, brains, and courage. It's just a thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
And
like,
you don't need a morph to punch a person.
yeah, it's
I mean, it
like,
helps again,
and
as you said, but
it helps. Like a Hork-Bajir's, blades definitely fucking helps.
yeah, just punch him with your elbow, the head comes right off.
Yeah, it's like, oh, whoops, I'm sorry for this, bad head. Yeah, I'll fix that. No, I won't. I don't want to fucking try.
Yeah.
Good. So, what do you think about David's reliance on the morphine power?
He probably relies on it like too much. I mean, like, yeah, they they probably all do, but I think that he does specifically for power and so-called freedom and control.
Do you want to give one instance?
Um, I'm thinking. Um. Uh. I think one of the most obvious ones would be in the mall, where he was morphed lion and he like had like drawn axe away and was apparently quite willing to get rid of Rachel.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, of course I'm going to be able to kill you. I'm a fucking lion. And I think it's the fact that Rachel could escape him without morphine that fucking pissed him off
Yeah,
and made
he's a
him
freaking gymnast.
a gymnast. It's like before David really hated Marco, but now Rachel, because Rachel was the only one to actually manage to escape him.
Yeah. I also not sure where this would fit in, but I also do want to talk about um his um his apparent siding with the three in the conference hall.
Okay, I'll add that. Hang on a sec. As I said, very professional. Deal with Fisher 3. Okay. Okay, the last thing I'm going to touch on with the psychology of David is he says, "Oh, I'd never kill a human." He was ready to fucking kill Rachel. And then I think it's only because Rachel escaped him that he said, "Oh yeah, I totally never kill a human. I was just playing with you, Rachel."
It doesn't look like fucking playing to me, man.
It's like, I could just bite off your finger and let you fall to the ground, but, it was only a joke. Don't you know how to take a joke, bro?
It was just a prank, bro.
It's just a prank. No, I think he would 100% kill a person.
Yep, I mean, I'm still fairly certain that he did kill Sadler, even if it was off camera.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we know the details of that.
Yeah, I think what happened was that Sadler was, very close to death, but it, uh, David sped it along by dropping him down the elevator and then acquiring him. I like that Sadler is supposed to be an asshole and David's an asshole. So it's like they won't notice the difference.
Yeah, he might have a few memories so-called missing, but he had a big bash over the head. It's not like they're gonna care.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they got their child back. That was so fucking horrible. Yeah, it's a theory that David killed Sadler, and I do believe it. I don't believe his whole, I'm not going to kill a human. Rachel,
I
I was
just
just
I
joking.
don't put him I don't put it past him to not kill a person if he gets a chance.
Yeah, I mean, he threatened Rachel's family.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably going to involve some death, isn't it? If you act through.
Hmm.
Without going out a little death.
I know that yeah, the animals like have to deal with death only because they're killing the so-called bad guys. But when you're killing like innocents or people that are supposed to be on your team, you're not cut out for this sort of thing. You're not
Yeah,
even supposed to be welcoming this sort of thing. You're too dangerous to your own people.
it's like, and the fact is, the terms good guys and bad guys are very hard to define in the Animorph series, which is something the series does touch upon. Like the Hork-Bajir, they have to kill Hork-Bajir, but the Hork-Bajir are innocent. It's the Yeerks in their head. It's like it's brutal.
Yep.
Okay, we could probably talk for more hours, but we're going to continue because I say
Moving
so.
on.
Moving on. So, do you think the punishment for David was fair or not fair? For all the viewers out there who have somehow forgotten what has happened to David, his punishment was to be trapped as an anthlid in rat form and, left on a rocky island thingy-majig with other rats.
Well, given how the other animorphs aren't quite like David, I would assume that was probably like the fairest they could go to like keep him from being infested and turned against them, but like without like killing him directly.
And then also it's giving him a morph that can't fucking attack him. Because, I mean, Tobias would just fucking shoot down like, now who's killing who, bitch? Oh, sorry, I didn't notice you can't tell one rat from another. Nom 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 nom.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's. So now I'm just imagining Tobias for a little bit afterwards, imagining each rat he catches is David, and then like Rachel running into him. He's like, "How's it going?"
Yeah.
It's been all awkward. Like, hey, I'm just gonna hide over here. And you got the wrong cock, Rachel. I'm over here, somewhere else where you are not looking. Oh god. So you do think it's a fair punishment what happened to him?
Yeah.
I think
I
it's
mean, I don't
actually.
like it, but
Oh. And none of the Animorphs liked it. Hmm. And I just remembering Rachel biting her own fucking tail off.
yeah.
That was
Ouch.
that. That was like, this is a kid's book, right? What's this?
Apparently, despite
Okay.
everything that's been happening.
Yeah, it's like by the this is for kids, folks. We're not shaming you. This is a young adult series. Oh god.
As we say every single time.
Yeah, this is a kid series. It's just like it's yeah.
It's
I'm
got death
actually
and PTSD and shit in it, but nah, it's
sometimes
fine.
actual shit. Actually, in a number 21, poop was discussed. Like Jake had just morphed his dog Homer to sniff out where David went, and he like was reminiscing about poop and like no one cares about cat poop.
Yeah.
Like sometimes actual shit, actual shit is discussed here. And there's the time in number 16 where Tobias found himself in the toilet bowl.
Oh boy.
The actual.
Dangerous falling objects.
Yeah, so sometimes there's actual shit, you know?
Still, it's better than having your intestines falling out your body.
That also happened in 16. I don't think
Yeah.
intestines, but definitely the insides.
Yeah, so technically, I kind of see like poop on like the uh like the more childish side of things, which is probably like sort of like trying to keep it more light-hearted compared to all the war and PTSD and anxiety and panic attacks that everybody probably suffers that aren't discussed in great detail. That
Yeah.
was something
Oh
I
god,
thought
just
about
remembering
during
with
this
poop
actually,
is
yeah.
number 16. They needed poop to find the gate while in Flymorph.
Oh yeah.
Poop was a plot point.
Okay, I'm glad that's a thing then. It wasn't just shoved in for childish laughs.
It's like, I mean, I think the falling objects thing was thrown in for childish laughs, but poop being a
Yeah.
plot device was actually very good. And then all the Amors like, we're not discussing this with you right now, Axe.
I do not understand. We'll talk about it later, Axe.
But as for my opinion of whether or not the punishment for David was fair, I think it was actually unfair, and it was done by Cassie just because she can't really stand killing. She's a pacifist, so she will go for the option of not killing, just figuring that's the better to do morally, while actually doing something way fucking worse. I mean, because to make sure that David couldn't hurt them, Tobias could have a snack.
Hmm.
No, it's like after. No, it's probably after the 2 hour limit when once it's sort of safe for Dave to actually escape. They could have fun just killing him. I mean, not have fun killing him, but swift death. No.
I'm sure Tobias would enjoy the thrill of the hunt. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah,
I'm
like,
hungry, Cassie. Can you let him go?
Come on, Cassie, just let him go. Just for me. I'm just gonna play with him a little. Take his see what he looks like was when his insides are on the outsides.
Hmm.
I'm just saying that killing him would actually be more merciful because then he doesn't have to suffer anymore, and then the Animorphs aren't in danger.
Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, he brought that all on himself. He's gonna have to suffer the consequences.
Yeah, but the thing is, the punishment becomes more of the thrill of, him being tortured than to actually solve the problem, and to also relieve Cassie's guilt of killing someone
Hmm.
directly. So it's like
Yeah.
it's relieving of guilt, and it's just like having, you know, having having fun with him being tortured. Knowing it's not because if they just killed him, they couldn't imagine him being tortured. And even though it's hard for everyone to stay there to wait until he's an antlet to the point that most of them go away,
Yeah.
it's probably they may find relief every now and again knowing that, hey, this person who tried to, cause us so much chaos is having their comeuppance rather than actually solving the issue. It's making them feel better. That's all the quote unquote punishment is doing. It's making them feel better. It's not solving a problem. And that's where I sort of draw the line. Because if someone does something horrible, they should have punishments that fit the crime, but not to the point where it becomes less about the justice being served than, someone having, soothing themselves. With like, oh, at least I don't kill someone. Oh, at least they're going to be tortured until they die.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, I get you.
yeah, just like that's personally where I draw the line. And also why
Well, to each their
Cass.
own.
What?
To each their own.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
your opinion.
yeah, and it's like Cassie did it. And, Cass, that's sort of how dark Cassie can actually be. She can be very kind, but in her kindness, torture someone. Just
Or
so
just
she
erase
can.
someone from time.
Oh, that's actually a better option because that person's not going to fucking suffer. They're never going to
Yeah,
exist to suffer.
that's true.
Do you call it sort of an abortion if the person's not even conceived?
Hmm.
Like when she raised someone from time, it's like she pre-aborted him.
That's a good word. Pre-aborted.
Yeah, that's only okay for time traveling stories. I think that's the only time that term could apply.
I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Oh God. Okay, let's talk about the thing you wanted to talk about. Getting me a
Oh
fucking
boy.
pizza. I'm sorry, guys. I have a gallbladder issues, so for like a week or two at least, I've been on a very very bland diet to the point where I can fully understand now about Axe go freaking out over salt and grease. Just like, I'll eat a popcorn box.
It just tastes good.
It has flavor as salt and grease. I want
It
to
tastes of
randomly go up
salt
to.
and grease.
I just can't wait till the gallbladder issue is done, because then I'm going to fucking have a goddamn pizza
Well,
with
I hope you enjoyed
pepperoni.
the pizza.
Yeah, I'm going to fucking enjoy that fucking pizza. I just need it. But about the gallbladder issue, like I'm talking to the person who cuts my hair, and they're like, and I'm talking about my health issues, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my daughter had gallbladder issues, and she had to have her gallbladder removed." Guess that fucks up the pizza
Yay,
then.
thanks. Are you offering that option to me, or?
I'm going to just say no. Hopefully that gets resolved without a... But anyway, sorry, I get distracted. The pizza. God damn it, fucking pizza, sushi. So anyways, about the deal Fisher 3 had with David.
Yes.
Pizza.
It had nothing to do with pizza. Come to the dark side, we have pizza.
Okay. Okay. But in all seriousness, let's go on with Fisher 3.
Okay, so the gang all go to this Marriott resort where
Oh,
a
hang
bunch
on.
of Prime
Hang
Minister.
on.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. I'll text her and no, tell her I'll call back. Okay, continue.
The gang all head off to a Marriott resort where a bunch of Prime Ministers and presidents, including the current president of the USA, which one that is, I do not know. They probably didn't want to name names. But they're all meeting up for some giant dinner event, from what I understand. And when they get there and get out of the vents and manage to demorph back into human, which is a tense as all hell scene. They discover there's a yerk pool, a small portable yerk pool in one of the corners of the room, hidden by a hologram. So they make a plan to go back that night. They discover that David has this bloodlust, and then when they get there, they watch the dinner. People start going up, and they realize that nobody's getting taken to be infested, which just confuses them. And then they realize that Visitor 3 has been standing nearby all along, and they kind of realize we're fucked. And then they realize there's probably that like the dinner is just a hologram, and it's all fate because the dinner was the next night. And then they realize they're surrounded by hot Bashir. So David starts panicking and is all just, "Don't kill me! Don't kill me!"
Yeah. Another instance of him, seeing even a little bit of danger and just reacting and panicking like a fucking wimp. Sorry, continue.
So yeah, he threatens to give away the secret of the Animorphs, given that Visitor 3 at this point still thinks they're just Andalite bandits. And David manages to get over to Visitor 3. And I think the point of this scene is, okay, do we assume that he is betraying the Animorphs because they have now shown themselves to be the weaker side, or is he pretending to go over to the Viscer's side so that he can get close enough to attack him?
Well, I think that he did. He saw the Yerks as the stronger side, but I don't think he never really trusts anyone. Everyone is always a use or not a use to him. And if you're useful to him, you're safe. And if you're not a use, no, you can die.
You're on the dead list.
Yeah, so he might have been thinking for a little bit I think by this time, I can't remember if by this time that he knew about Sadler. I'm pretty sure he did at this point know about Sadler. So any deal he made with the Visher, he would be going back on anyways. So he probably didn't feel too bad about that. And plus, David wanted the blue box too. So, and David can, act certain ways so that people will feel different ways about him. So he could put on.
It's called manipulation.
Yeah, it's manipulation, kids. Yay! And so David was probably going to, would have betrayed the Animorphs most likely if things had gone differently. But at the same time, he wouldn't be fully on Visher 3's side.
Yeah, he'd just be playing along so that he
could escape and live.
Yeah.
I noticed he didn't really care about his parents. I think any reaction he had was so that he would seem normal. Make it seem to Visher 3 like the Yeerk did have a hold over him.
Yeah, because the Visor did say, we won't infest you, you'll have your parents, you'll be perfectly fine. And David was probably thinking, yeah, I call bullshit, but I'm gonna pretend to go along with you anyway.
I'm calling bullshit. So yeah, definitely was. Yeah. He was playing both sides.
Yeah.
That's I think David's go-to. Really stick with one side until a better option opens up. He doesn't have loyalty. He thinks he's owed loyalty by default. I mean, he explains to Jake at the end of 21 about why, he's doing what he's doing, and he brings it to school. Like, oh, you're the cool kids. It's like, you're the cool kids and you can do what you want, and I can't because I'm a new kid and you hate me.
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
It's just fucking bullshit there. It's like, hey, David is disregarding everyone else on the team having a hard life. Jake having to live with the controller, so being very close to the Yeerks, and with the brother which he loves. Of course, David can't understand love, so Then
and Marco's mum is a
Visher
very high
won
ranking controller. Yeah.
to the point where she can't be on Earth anymore. And there's Tobias, who's trapped as a hawk, and like now he's sort of at ease, but he tried to commit suicide. Then
Hooray.
Yeah, just the third book in the series. Then there's Axe, who's the only Andalite on the planet that they know of right now, and that can't, that's all alone. He has
literally alienated from the rest of them.
Hey!
Yay, I made a pun.
So, yeah, you're happy. Let's see, Rachel has to deal with the fact that she's liking the war a little too much. There's Cassie, who has to find a balance between fighting the war and pacifism. Everyone is in their own little version of hell. And so David doesn't have a right to come out and say, well, you don't matter. I do. You have it easy. It's like, just because they have homes doesn't mean they're nice, happy, and easy life. And then to think that he can take school setting of, hey, kids are like this and schools like that, and then use that to a war setting. It's like, that doesn't work. You don't go
That's
home.
not how any of this works.
Works. Yeah, it's like Animorphs is a full-time fucking thing. You just don't get to go home afterwards. And he just really seemed, I think the thing is also he was, picked on or, not looked at highly, which by David standards could mean a whole range of things. So he
But
was
if I can
always.
compare that to one of my current cats, she is a total bitch. She will attack anyone that comes near her, and then she probably wonders why she gets yelled at for attacking them. She started it. They were literally just walking past her, and she just turned around and screamed at them and whacked them.
Why does everyone hate me?
And
But
then I'm there going, well, you started it. You attacked them first.
but yeah, I think when David gets the morphing powers is the first time he has any real power. And
Yeah.
so I think that's definitely why he overestimates himself, because he thinks the morphing power is all it is. And then he's like, yeah, I can play Animorphs and Visher 3 and then come out on top. Okay,
And I can
froze
rob
there.
some, and I can rob some banks while I'm at it. They won't know it's me.
Okay, just froze for a moment.
Do I need to repeat myself?
No, you didn't freeze, I did.
Okay.
My screen
Okay.
froze. My camera froze. So yeah. But yeah, rob a few banks, get a couple Animorphs, get his own little team, and Rachel or Jake's like, what if they do to you what you're doing to us? And like, well, I'm smarter than you. Yeah, I mean, if David did escape, someone definitely used the ego against him. So yeah. To your original, point being brought up, David was going over to the Yerks, pretending to go over to the Yerks, but then when things went differently, he sided with the Animorphs for the moment. He was playing both sides. I wouldn't say, he was going to betray betray the Animorphs by going over to the Yerks, because he was already going to betray them. Once Sadler came up, then everything was going to go downhill no matter what.
Yeah, and I think he probably found like a family with Sadler's family. And then it was just a case of, well, I've got to get rid of the original. That's fine by me.
Let's just
Me.
toss him over the side here. Whoa! I would never kill a
Bye.
human.
I wouldn't kill a human. There goes Sadler. Bye.
Bye. And yeah, another except I won't kill a human except for Rachel if she hadn't escaped from me, but I was totally playing a prank, bro.
And and your cousin was dead anyway. It's not like I really did anything. I just helped him out faster.
Yeah, I sped up the process.
You can thank me later.
We're horrible people, you see. The Animorphs is so fucking dark. This is the sense of humor we have to develop to cope.
Yep. And people wonder why I'm insane.
But anyways, let's finish this podcast up by asking this question that has probably already been answered about a million times over. What do you think of David overall? Do you like him or dislike him?
My problem is I have two answers.
Oh god, okay, come on. Okay, you go first.
Okay, well, As a moral person, it's like really easy to dislike him because of him being a manipulative, selfish, bully brat. And I've already experienced that with a real person, and it's not
Aww.
fun.
I want to hug you.
Yeah, that was just a load of
And
drama that
have
I had last year.
pancakes. Aww.
Just
Evil Evie will help. I'll fuck him
yes,
up.
thank you. Please do. Yes, please do fuck him up. That would be great.
Evil Evie helps. Sometimes.
Yay! Wait, are you manipulating me?
Evil Evie would never do that.
Well, at least you're honest. Anyway, but like, but like, the dark side of me, the side that like you guys have seen quite a lot, surprisingly. The side that has been molded by middle school, let's just say, the side that has been molded to make me hate people regardless. I kind of understand like where David is coming from in like wanting and getting freedom and being able to like get what he wants. So in that sense, I quite like that he did kind of get the courage, I think, to like go against a moral compass and do what he wanted. Probably because like I can't really do that myself, despite having all of this pent up rage and stuff inside me. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, I'm worried about you now.
Oh, that's
Very
been me
worried.
for the past decade. That's been me for the past decade, so yeah, you have a lot of worrying to do.
Okay, like before, she worried us out, but now she's like, I sort of connect with David. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go over here. So, we're going to, for us, some totally unrelated reasons, with Extra Happy is in need of a new co-host.
If you thought I was bad in the mental illness episode,
This is fucking worse.
I can't believe you weren't that worried about me then.
Well, I was worried about you, but it's sort of the fun sort of worry.
Yeah, no, I was hoping you would be seriously worried like you are now.
So,
What's your answers? Or answer?
And keeping you on as a co-host just to make sure everyone realizes that was a joke, because I know people probably just drink their asses off so they think this is a good podcast, so they probably thought I wasn't joking. So I was just joking. Kat's always going to be my co-host. Always.
Thank God for that, because I...
Always!
Yay!
Even in death you will be doing this. Ooh!
I don't quite know how, but that will be interesting to see. now I want to know, like, are the people that watching us genuinely worried about me, or have they been for a while? Do they like me as a co-host? Do they want me to leave because I've revealed this? Or
what do you think?
Please tell me.
Comment down below, and if you insult her, I will find you. And it won't be pleasant, at least for you. I'll have a field day! Woo! Oh god, I love people. I just see him with the cartoon now.
Yeah. If I could draw, I would definitely I would definitely animate that.
These fucking. Oh god. So my answer, I fucking hate David.
Okay.
I just fucking hate. I
Short
mean,
and sweet.
yeah, I mean, like I was saying that I would less thought the punishment of trapping him as an omelet was too much. But that's because that's a line I personally won't cross when I turn punishment into some form of joy for me. The joy of not having to kill, the joy of, just knowing that I'll be tortured. Now that's,
Yeah.
but still, that's just general. That's anyone. David, I just read the David trilogy and I just like all the points they could have fucking killed him.
Hmm.
After he got the morphine powers and became a temporary Animorph, I don't go too far because before he got the morphine powers, he was still, he wouldn't cause any harm. But once he did get his morphine powers, it was the first time I think he really experienced true power and he was able to become free. So that's when I start, those fantasies. Oh, Jake, don't, catch, David. Just let him go. Kill him. Axe. He's in like mid-morph, just like swing your tail blade. Oh, it's an accident. Squeeze his
Yeah,
little
the tail
flies.
blade
Oh,
is so fast it literally could just be talked off as an accident.
accident.
What? Oh, shut up.
Axe. I
I
just,
get it. I get it.
I probably should have caught that pun sooner, but like, so yeah, that just I don't really. I can relate to David to the point of finally gaining power, and it's. But I don't relate to David doing what he did, killing fucking Tobias.
I
When
would
I
rather
read
kill
the
people,
fucking
honestly.
serious what?
People are the assholes.
Well, I remember reading the trilogy for the first time, and the books come out every month, which is also why there are some mistakes. It's but anyways, from the month between number 21 coming out and number 2 coming out, I was just fucking horrified. I was like, not Tobias. He's my favorite character.
How dare he?
I was
Rachel's gonna be
like,
pissed.
yeah, she was fucking pissed. She was going to fucking electrocute David.
That I must have completely skimmed over. I
No,
don't have any
yeah.
recollection of that whatsoever.
Remember, it was happened after Rachel and Axe go to get Marco. Then Marco turns out to be David and Marco Morph. And the funny part about that was Rachel had said, we're not going to walk into any more traps." 2
And then
seconds
they
later,
turned into one. There's a trap.
it's a trap. It's that's funny, you should say. But so Axe gets, knocked around away, and David's like, "Oh, of course I killed, Axe. That I definitely saw the dead
But I
body
wouldn't
there."
kill Marco because he's human.
Yeah, bullshit. I think he was just. I think the reason David didn't kill Marco was maybe because once he had said that to Rachel, he had to prove to himself he did have some morality, even though he doesn't. And so, anyways, then David chases Rachel while she's in Owlmorph and he's in Golden Eagle, and she's flying towards the the power lines and trying to lead David towards there so he can go can like get electrocuted with like 20,000 volts or something. So yeah, do you remember the scene now?
Sort of. I can
Yeah.
visualize the scene, I just can't visualize that particular bit.
Yeah, and then Rachel's trying to, and once David does, hurt her so she can't, she can't lead him further. She's like, damn it, I can't electrocute him alive. And I'm like, this is a fucking kid's book.
I endorse murder.
I endorse, tortures, murder.
Yep. Also, to add on to the nice part of my answer, of course, like that side of me, like being a pacifist, like normal Cassie. Obviously, I was also relieved when their punishment was just to let David live out the rest of his days and increase in insanity instead of killing him. But of course, like part of me like does agree that like maybe killing him like would have been better, because then we wouldn't have had any problems with him in the future.
Yeah. So that's,
which we will cover later.
Maybe. I definitely think that David definitely deserves another episode. I deserve fucking pizza. God, getting hungry again. Probably because I had fucking oatmeal like an hour or two ago. Okay, so now I can think is food. Like steak, rare steak. But
Probably
anyways,
finish the episode before you start.
Start listing everything. But anyways, this is the last With Extra Happy episode for a little bit. We'll be on a break. I'll be sure to post something on my Twitter at Jashikins when, With Extra Happy will be returning. And we would like to know what you would like us to talk about. What topics would you like us to cover in future episodes? Please tell us, because I want to make sure this series does mention what the fans want. So please, please, please. It's like whenever I'm like, hey, do you want to help me write stuff that you'd like? And everyone's like, nah. So yeah,
we're sure you can figure it out all by yourselves, and we're just here like,
no, we can't. I think, yeah, I was basically panicking. We went out. So yeah, just please comment below what you would like us to talk about. Questions that you might have about the series, fan theories you want us to chime in on. Maybe do another entire episode just on some fan theories. Please, comment below. Please. Please. Love us.
I'm probably not deserving of love even after this episode, but damn it, I try.
Yeah, you don't. No, David Katsy. No. But yes.
Am I now just Catsid?
No, Katsy sounds better.
Okay, just Catsy.
Yeah, that covers everything. That's worse than David. Because David wimps out. Cassie is a lot more ferocious and actually cunning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm more afraid of Cassie than David.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you get the more scary name. Bastard. So, Yeah, so again, with Extra Happy, we'll be returning. We just won't be making an episode for a little bit. And Katsy, do you have anything of interest for, our like 2 or 3 viewers?
Nothing's different since last week.
Okay.
From last week. I can English.
Of course you can. You're a Brit. I hope you
Yep.
I hope you can speak the language you helped create.
Kind of. Yes, ish.
I'm just thinking about how the English language has words, taken from different languages and just combined like a salad. And now I'm like thinking of Caesar salad.
Okay then.
Okay, I think this is a good time to stop the episode then. And until next video, goodbye.
Bye.
Evil Evie says bye, but I'll never really leave.